Well, day two has now started for the Chicago Bears in free agency as the Chicago Bears have signed Kalif Raymond, the wide receiver / special teams specialist for the Detroit Lions. He will now be coming over to the Chicago Bears. We can talk about it all and more right after this. What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content today, y'all. And the Chicago Bears have started off day two with a functional signing. This is a solid signing for the Chicago Bears to add some depth to special teams. With Olamide Zaccheaus officially gone now, the Chicago Bears had a spot open for a wide receiver and return specialist. They signed Kalif Raymond to the team. This is a guy that Ben Johnson would be familiar with. He's been in Detroit since 2021. Last year, he had 24 receptions on 30 targets for 289 yards and 1 touchdown. In the return game, he had 32 punt returns last year for 241 yards, 1 touchdown return on a punt. He also had 6 kickoff returns for 161 yards as well. This is just depth. It's for the Chicago Bears. That's what this is a player that Ben Johnson is familiar with, that he's probably going to feel confident he's going to be able to come in and get a return guy in their form, and that's really what this is. But we know that for Ben Johnson, he's talked about all 3 phases of the game, he wants to be solid. And so bringing in a guy like Khalif Raymond, who is a wide receiver but more of a special team specialist by trade, that makes some sense for the Chicago Bears. Like I said, I'm not going to try to gas this as something that's like a huge move or anything like that, but it is a solid move to make sure that your special teams has some depth, has some talent on it. And that's what we know that Ben Johnson does want as a head coach. All 3 phases of the game. He talks about it so oftenly, how important it is to get production out of all 3 phases. That's what this signing really does for the Chicago Bears. So, we'll see what's going to happen, how it continues, but the Chicago Bears are going to continue to go after it the way that they need to. We need a D end today and draft. You're not going to do both. You're not going to sign a free agent defensive end and draft one. It's going to be one or the other. You got to remember, Austin Booker is still here. The Bears still do see a bright future for Austin Booker. You're not going to sign a defensive end and go out and draft one. It's going to be one or the other. Which one it is, I don't know. It seems like it's gearing more towards drafting one, so we'll see if that ends up happening, but you're probably not going to get both of them, signing one and drafting one. Also, we did hear from Brad Biggs that Kevin Byard is unlikely to re-sign with the Chicago Bears. So for a lot of people who are asking the question of, is it Jaquan Brisker or Kevin Byard that Kobe Bryant was here to replace, I think we now have the answer if Brad Biggs' report is to be believed, which may lead to the Chicago Bears re-signing Jaquan Brisker, which would be having a really good youth combination in that safety. The biggest question is how do the Bears feel about Jaquan Brisker and his health? We'll see what happens with that one. But, we'll see how it's going to go. Shay says Poles getting active. I mean, solid, very, very solid signing. We got Darnell Bear Down. Shout out to you, brother. We got Jake Capone, Don in the building, says Detroit is in shambles. Our time, motherfuckers. Hey, listen, fuck Detroit. We out here. Listen, we getting some shit done. And that's really all you can help with this one, is that you can just continue trying to improve your team. That's what this offseason is about for the Chicago Bears. Continual improvement of where they are, they're standing, and getting and making the right steps in the areas that they need to. And that's what the Bears are doing right now. So we're going to see, how it continues to go. Yesterday started off with a smaller signing first, and then we started getting the bigger signings. Now, keep in mind, the Chicago Bears only had $6 million left in cap space. So if they keep signing people, we're going to see how, eventually a restructuring or something is going to have to happen if the Chicago Bears are going to continue being active out here in the free agent market. So we'll see how active the Bears plan on doing that. But for those that are just jumping into this, the Bears have signed wide receiver and return man Kalif Raymond, a playmaker for the Detroit Lions last year, who has familiarity with Ben Johnson, and it's just shoring up all 3 phases of the game. Very good experience, veteran receiver. Do you think he can be our Zacchaeus replacement, or do we roll with the receiver unit as is? No. Listen, excuse me on that one. Kalif is probably more of a special teams and a guy that can add some depth to your receiver room. I still think the Bears are either going to draft or sign a guy that's designated as their slot. Now, as their third wide receiver on the depth chart. The reason why I hesitate from calling him slot because I do think we've seen Rome could be in the slot sometimes. Luther Burden's going to be in the slot sometimes. Even Colston Loveland is going to line up in the slot sometimes. So you're going to see some versatility in how Ben Johnson calls that offense with the slot receiver. But I do think they're going to add some more depth to that receiver room. Appreciate your work, Haize. Salute. Appreciate you, Trey West. We appreciate you, brother. Haize, you think Ryan Poles is going to draft a speedy wide receiver in the draft or no? I mean, when you look at how this draft is shaped up for speedy, toolsy wide receivers, and the Bears having 2 second-round picks, it's definitely a possibility. It's definitely, but to the point here made by Hugo, Jahade Walker, DJ Moore on his way out said something positive about Jahade Walker. So maybe the Bears are really looking at Jahade Walker to be that guy in that slot for them and to be the third wide receiver with Rome, with Luther Burden. And like I said, Colston Loveland is going to line up as a wide receiver sometimes as well. So don't overlook Jahade Walker and how the Bears may plan to incorporate him a little bit more. And keep in mind, young player, only 23 years old, 6'3", 206 pounds. You know, I didn't realize how big Jahade Walker was. He doesn't look like a big guy. Jahade Walker's a big motherfucker. So, you know, we'll see how that continues to go for this team for sure. Poles set up that Kobe. Listen, Poles, he's a master at work, bro. He's a master at work, bro. Ryan Poles is a master at work. Yes, very good. Exactly. Very, very good signing here. Devin Duvernay replacement? Absolutely. Let's go FGB. You know, it's always FGB. Every day, all day. Every time you wake up. You know, matter of fact, everybody smack a Packers fan today. Just off GP. Smack a Packers fan today. Whether it's verbally, physically, whatever it is, just make sure you smack a Packers fan today. Because I feel like they deserve it. Does the owner really want to give players money up front for a restructure? Listen, I need everybody to realize this. They don't care about the money up front, like for a restructure. Owners very rarely care. They care about the overall money that you spend, and at that. But we've heard nothing that where the ownership has been cheap at before is paying for coaches and coaching staff. We've never really been cheap when it comes to the roster in regards to how the contracts are structured. So I'm not really too worried about that. I'm not too worried about that. Let's go Ryan Poles, bear down, FGB. You already know what it is, man. You already know what it is. So, all right, but we'll continue to see how this is going to go. The Bears are going to continue to do what they need to do. I'm just trying to see if any other news comes down before I end this one. I doubt it. But for everybody to update real quick, the Bears are signing Kalif Raymond, the wide receiver / return specialist. Also, word has come down from Brad Biggs that they do not expect Kevin Byard to re-sign with the Chicago Bears, which is surprising with the way that Ryan Poles talked about him. And we'll see how that's going to continue to go. But appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys are following us at Chi Bears Central. You send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave us a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bears related. Catch you guys on the next one. Bear down, y'all. FGB, F Detroit, F Minnesota, F everybody in the NFC North, because we took the North, and hopefully we never gonna give it back. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.